Holy shit! This is episode 4 of Daredevil Born Again, gloves off. Oh my gosh, the stakes have been risen, even to another level, and they actually did it. Wow, first off we get Bullseye back, we've got a boxing match that actually mattered, and one of the rawest Daredevil fights yet I've seen on screen. Come on, let's go. Let's talk about why this episode hits so hard. Just a quick recap. Open up the show with Bullseye and make him feel like he's been rehabilitated. We find him, he's got a place, he looks calm, his apartment is tidy, which if you know about his character, he's got OCD. And guess what? He's friendly to the neighbors. And then he even goes into a diner to order a milkshake. And guess what? What is it all for? For him, tip call was to the police to let them know that Frank Castle is in the diner. And of course, who shows up? The anti-vigilante task force. And straight away they clock Frank Castle isn't there. Another individual is there. And from that moment, oh my gosh, things go sideways. What a quiet, oh man. Truly, what a sinister opener for an episode. So beautiful, so poignant for his character and for where I feel Daredevil, this episode is going. So beautiful. Mwah. And the music choice just made it feel so sinister, but so poignant, but yet classical. It had this class about it that just felt semi-Godfather, if I can use such a phrase. What's great here is how Bullseye's changed. He isn't just killing people at random anymore. For me, I feel he's focused, he's almost dedicated to what he's doing. There's a scene with one of the customers that's in there that says to him, hey, this is one of the civilians, hey, please don't kill me. And Bullseye says, what? I'm not gonna kill you. I'm one of the good guys. And this is such a chilling reveal for his character and where his thinking and his mindset is, which is so good and so great for that scene and adds such a layer to what we're seeing. And then we get to look at what's happening with the other characters from last week's episode. First off, we talk about the swordsman making a beautiful alliance and being now Daredevil's beneficiary, donor. I feel like they're doing a Batman thing, but you know, the Batman, he's a billionaire, he's always giving money to charity, all that stuff, but it's cool. And then I'm loving the new introduction of the new White Tiger character and how they're getting her to do stuff. I didn't really talk about her last episode, but I feel like this episode really now allows for that inclusion of her character and what she can do. And I feel like it's being done in the right way. She's not supposed to be taking on missions like Daredevil. However, it's allowing us to get to know her slowly, which means later on as the season goes on, you know what? She'll be, I think, a more important part of Daredevil moving forward. I have to admit, I love the Vanessa and Fisk scene when they're talking about the boxing match and how she needs to be there. She goes to do something else. And you can understand from Fisk's point of view, he doesn't want her there because it's going to be a dangerous place, you know, too many enemies in a sense. But you can also see from Vanessa's point of view, she wants to be there and you can feel the tension between them. You may be thinking Fisk is being harsh, but later on, when you find out he was right, it allows that whole conversation to hit even harder. I definitely love the scene where his interaction with Mr. Charles happens. We know that Fisk/Kingpin doesn't like to be managed. And this was a great scene to see what happens when he's managed. And I love how seeing Charles witness for the first time and also seeing Buck step up to the plate as his ally really allows you to appreciate that don't threaten, don't underestimate and don't threaten Fisk. He's someone you do not want to get on the wrong side. As long as you abide by his rules, you should be okay. I just like the scene. I thought it was really cool just to elevate and show the levels of what Fisk can do, even if you think you're managing him, his journey. I really like the fact that they finally found a way for Matt to be a detective in this episode and do some detective work. I think it was a massive thing in the comics where Daredevil will be a lawyer and a detective and a crime fighter. So I love the way that they managed to do that. And of course, he was able to figure out the coin, and then with that, he was able to figure out that the coin came from the church. And I love how they were able to just slightly tie his past and just remind us of that. And it just, for me, allowed the show again to feel more like Daredevil. I think the first season didn't really talk about his religion or his faith being the reason he behaves the way he does. So I just like the way that we got to see that. It was cool. It was fun. I missed that element of Daredevil doing the detective work to figure out who did it or how did this happen. Again, for me, Dexter's story emotionally comes through the fact that he's trying to atone for what he did. And for him, the best way to atone by doing one good thing is by killing Fisk. And then you can see Matt is in such a predicament. If I explain it correctly, the man who killed his best friend wants to atone by killing Fisk. And guess what? Matt can't allow him to do that. So he has to stop him. What a conundrum. And I love how the writing allows that to naturally flow. And for you, the audience, to go, ah, damn it, what a conundrum. Great. That's what I'm talking about. That great. You can see it makes sense. It doesn't feel like, nah. Obviously, you'd be conflicted about the idea, but I love that kind of writing where you're like going, yes, that makes sense. Ah! And I have to say also, this fight was beautifully choreographed. And I think I said it in previous reviews. I'm loving the fact that they allow these fights to happen in rooms and not in a big warehouse. So it lets it feel so contained and brutal and raw, allowing for there to be a bit more of a different point of view of what's been saying. And for in that fight, for Dexter to come out with why he's doing it, allows it to be such an emotional core. Now, I have to say something. When I heard Fisk had set up a boxing match, I just thought, okay, it's publicity for the sake of publicity. But when I realized he's using it to draw out a Bullseye and Daredevil, now that is a man that's plotting, and that is a man that wants to be in control of the narrative. It just shows you once again why he's such a great villain. He's not just a brute or a maniac. He's thoughtful, and there is a conscious strategy, chess playing, 10 moves ahead all the time to be in control and to get the best outcome. And he uses the public space and the title that he has to create these scenarios so he can always be in control, which I think is brilliant. The fact that I didn't think of it, I wouldn't even thought of that he was using it to bring them out. Brilliant strategist. And again, that's the writing doing its work without saying anything. I have never thought of that. I'm just saying I really like that. If I'm to talk about the actual fight, I felt it was so visceral and raw. The cinematography was so beautiful in the sense it solved the violence and made it feel not just another fight. And then when Bullseye arrives and starts doing Bullseye stuff and taking out, again, only the people that he's supposed to take out, it just allows for that scene to change and to morph. And don't forget, Vanessa's already there, adds this emotional tension where you're wondering how is this all gonna go down, which is beautifully presented and choreographed. For me, the fact that Vanessa's intervention, basically her being there, one who tries to end the escalation by just trying to take out Bullseye, which makes perfect sense. You know, don't you kill my man, because that's the whole point. And then Fisk doing what, in my mind, is the right thing to do, using the after winning the match, using the belt to shield himself, creates this beautiful payoff, I feel, for the episode that works so well and works so deceptively as you, who is participating, I'll say me, the viewer, watching seeing everything's gonna play out. Like, you knew certain people were gonna get hurt. You never thought that because of Fisk doing what naturally is the right thing to do to defend himself by using the trophy would cause such a ripple effect of chaos for everyone at that event. For me, the reason I think this episode works so well, it's able to mix all these different character core choices of the episode. You got Bullseye's very unsettling calmness. You got Matt's detective side, figuring out what's going on. We've got Fisk's attempt to try and control a narrative with this smart boxing match. And then you got Vanessa's emotional response to Bullseye being in the room allows for one of the best usage of character motivation presented in an episode, which I felt really walked such a beautiful high tightrope. And yeah, it does such a great job. I'm sorry, it was brilliant. All of that in one, amazing. Overall, this episode is one of the best blends of strategy, emotion, and real moral dilemma. We are in a situation now where I believe Vanessa is dead, or she's about to die. I never saw that coming, and I love the fact that they were able to write that all into this episode, but gave us pure hints of things coming in previous episode. But I need to ask you the question, have you seen this episode? What did you think of it? Were you emotionally pushed all over the place like I was by the last 10 minutes? Where do you think it's going to end? Do you think Vanessa is dead? How do you think Fisk is going to react? Let me know in the comments below. I want to say thank you so much for clicking on this, and I want to say, if you want to see more of my stuff, I've just started a review on Invincible over here, and if you want to see some more of my other reviews, they're going to be over here. I want to say thank you so much, and please remember, if you can dream, you can be. Peace.